Hey everybody, Dr. Christine Kaczmar here, the Digestion Doc, helping people all over the world regain their freedom, because that's the most important thing, from the crappiest, yes, crappiest, health conditions like Crohn's, colitis, IBS. If you'd like to work with me, check out longdistancedoc.com. In a recent video, I talked to you about the 3 types of stress, what they are, how we get them, all of that good stuff. And today, I want to talk to you a little bit more about stress, but also I want to talk to you about 10 organ systems. I want to talk to you about the hypothalamus. We're going to dive into 4 specific things that stress do in a way that you totally understand and can relate to and empower you. Because my whole job is to save 5 million lives from the broken medical model. And I'm able to do this by empowering people about the unique brilliance of the body's inner doctor. That's the best doctor of all, is the doctor within. So let's go ahead and get started and see what you think about what I have for you here. First of all, when we get sick because of stress. And I talked to you about the 3 types of stress. We talk about physical stress or structural stress. I talked to you about emotional stress or neurological stress. And then there is nutritional or physiological stress. So we've got anatomical stress, neurological stress, physiological stress. Okay, so we've got musculoskeletal stress, we've got emotional stress, we've got functional stress or nutritional stress. These are all connected in, and I'll review this with you again. But when we are out of balance, we have deviated away from normal. So when we look at our body, we want to be healthy at all given times, correct? Fortunately, that's not what happens because we have all of these different inputs of stress coming at us at every given moment. And so what we need to understand is that when we have these deviations from normal, we've got to correct that. We've got to figure out what is the source of stress. And how we restore normal function is 3 primary ways. Let's dive into what those are. The first one is that we want to remove or reduce the stress. This sounds so simple. It's so easy, right? But this is not what the broken medical model focuses on ever. They don't focus on this whatsoever. The second way to normalize function is to supply the body with the right nutrition. My friends, here's the deal. Prescription medications, they're not foods. Foods are fats, carbs, proteins, vitamins, minerals, and enzymes. Prescription medications are not that. Therefore, they're not going to be the right nutrition. If you're looking to restore normal function, do not look at prescription medications to do so. Instead, prescription medications are very good at blocking enzymatic processes and blocking receptor sites to achieve a specific outcome. But they are not energizing, nor are they nourishing you. So when we're talking about restoring back normal function to the human body, once we've been stressed, first, we need to remove or reduce the stress. Second, we need to supply the body with the right nutrition, and that's easy to do when you know what to look for. And the third and final way that we restore normal balance is we remove the accumulated waste. These 3 things, you know everything, right? I mean, it just doesn't have to get complicated. This is really how you restore normal function to the body. This will never change. This is the way that it is. This is the way that it always has been. The problem is that ego gets in the way, where a lot of doctors out there and scientists out there think that their creation is more intellectual and more sound than the body's own creation, the body's own inner doctor. I take issue with that, and so should you. Now, let's talk more specifically about those 4 inputs and what happens with the body when we have stress. I'm going to break that all down for you right now. So what you see here is you see my little example of a body, okay? So stick figures, that's the best I can do. I'm not an artist. But what this is your head, obviously, and right here is part of your brain called the hypothalamus. And the hypothalamus is incredible with all that it does. It has nerve circuitry that basically connects to every cell, tissue, organ in the body. And I'm going to talk to you about those 10 organ systems right now before I get into the rest of this. So let's go ahead and talk about those 10 organ systems, and that's going to make even more sense to you when I go back to those 4 inputs. But right now, you kind of get a base of where I'm going with this. So what are the 10 organ systems? Number 1, circulation, or the circulatory system. Number 2, digestive. Number 3, endocrine system. Number 4, the immune system. Number 5, the integumentary system. This is your skin. Number 6, musculoskeletal. Number 7, neurological. Number 8, respiratory. Number 9, reproductive. And number 10, urinary. These are the 10 organ systems. And these 10 organ systems are all monitored by the hypothalamus. These specialized cells and tissues and organs are the ones that are creating these 10 organ systems. Now that you know what these 10 organ systems are, let's go back to what I was first talking to you about a minute ago with this hypothalamus. So we've got the hypothalamus, okay, right up in here in the part of the brain. So this is the rest of your brain right here. The rest of your brain is sitting in there, and that part in the middle is called the hypothalamus. It's really the master gland, more so than the pituitary gland. Again, the hypothalamus is very instrumental in keeping your body in that natural healing rhythm or homeostasis. But then I've got these lungs, which is part of the respiratory system. I've got the stomach in here, part of the digestive system. I've got the liver over here. I've got all these intestines, right? And this is just basically what I'm calling my 10 organ system, is this whole stuff I've just drawn for you. So what happens is this. First, we have an input of stress. And that stress, again, could be coming from an anatomical or musculoskeletal, same thing. It could be coming from neurological, which would be more emotion in origin, emotions. And it could be coming from physiological. And this is going to affect function. This is going to affect the viscera or the organs. So you could have an input of stress or a combination of all three coming at your body. Or it could be all three coming at you. So what happens? We get this input of stress coming from anatomical or structural, coming from neurological or emotional, coming from physiological or functional or organ-based, or a combination of the three. Now what happens? So this is what happens first. What happens next is that the 10 organ systems, they do their best. They do their best to handle it without bothering the brain, without bothering the mother, the queen of all, the hypothalamus, right? They don't want to be reprimanded. So these 10 organ systems are doing everything that they can to handle this incoming stress input. Again, whether it's coming from structure, function, emotions. 10 organ systems work together with whatever they're doing. And if they can't keep up, what's happening now is that they are going to send a message up to the brain, specifically the hypothalamus, and they're going to say, we can't handle it. Help us. Hypothalamus then, this is going to be step 3. The hypothalamus steps in, and it's going to now initiate a fix-it sequence. And it says fix it. And what it uses to help implement this whole sequence to repair via the autonomic nervous system and your hormone system. These two systems, the autonomic nervous system and your hormone system, are going to now try to repair whatever the heck is going on that the 10 organ systems alone couldn't do, right? So now we're going to employ even more work from the autonomic nervous system and the endocrine system to try to repair or resist or compensate whatever that input stress is that the 10 organ systems together couldn't fix. Now what happens after that? Well, when the tissues are unable to react to this, when the tissues are inadequately equipped to deal with this, that's going to lead to a muscle contraction. And that's what I evaluate for here in my office. In addition to the urine test that I do, the very specific and rare urine panel that I do, my energy assessment is my urine test, as well as this physical exam that I'm doing where I'm checking for muscle contractions. So let me go ahead and summarize this for you again. First, we have an incoming stress coming from structure, emotions, or some kind of a nutritional stress. Structure, emotions, nutritional stress, coming in at the body in some way, affecting those 10 organ systems. Those 10 organ systems being right here. Something is going to be affected by this stress. So then what happens is these 10 organ systems can't deal with it. So they have to talk to mother, or the queen, if you will, the hypothalamus. So they report back and relay that message up to the hypothalamus. And they're saying, we can't handle it. We need more support. Hypothalamus then recruits the autonomic nervous system and the hormone system or endocrine system specifically to try to either resist the stress, compensate for the stress, or heal it entirely, the best that it can do. But in this worst case scenario, when it can't deal with that, the tissues that are affected, the tissues that can't compensate, are now going to become rigid. And that's going to display a muscle contraction that I will see in my office. I'm not putting anything in anybody's hands and seeing if it goes weak. I'm literally just testing to see, what do I notice here? What am I feeling here? How is this affecting their body? Because stress is stress. And the body does not know the difference between structural stress, an emotional stress, or a nutritional stress. In a recent video, I talked to you about that fight or flight part of your nervous system, part of your autonomic nervous system, which is your sympathetic nervous system, how it's run on alkaline minerals. I also mentioned that your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the second branch of the autonomic nervous system, is your feed and breed, and it runs on acid minerals. So physiological function is run on nutrition. Nutrition is the science of food. And we need to be looking at food and only food in order to bring the body back to heal and to recover. Prescription medications cannot do that. They're horrible at doing that. In fact, prescription medications create more weaknesses and more stress inputs inside the body, where you have to go through this whole different process again. This whole sequence of events happens again and again and again because it's not normalizing function. Only nutrition can do that. So I really hope that this has kind of awakened you into the amazingness of the human body and how stress, these 4 ways of what's going on when a stress comes into the body. So the other thing I want to make sure that you're getting here is that stress equal symptoms. I want you to get that food equals energy. And how we nourish our body and how we bring our body back is by energizing the body with food. Specifically the right foods that you can properly digest. And that's the other component with that energy assessment, very unique and very rare urine test that I do. I'm putting all of these pieces of the puzzle together. I'm identifying where is your source of stress. Big pharma is big business, and they're not looking at how to restore balance to the body. Again, we want to restore balance to the body by first, even before this, we want to locate the source of stress. I mean, that should be a given, right? We want to locate the source of stress. The broken medical model never even does that. My book right here, Gut Check, talks all about the broken medical model. So that's a given, right? But it's not to the medical world. But anyway, let's just assume that we're doing that. Now how we restore balance is we remove or reduce at best that source of stress, that stress input coming in from structure, coming in from emotional stress, coming in from some kind of a nutritional stress or environmental stress. Then we're going to, 2, supply the body with what it needs in the form of nutrition or food to energize itself. And then number 3, we want to remove that accumulated waste. Bam, you just got it, right? In a nutshell, in this little video, you've got it. So that's what we need to be doing is energizing the body with food, knowing that when we have stress, we shouldn't try to block it or cover it up. These symptoms that you experience, these are warning signs. Are you paying attention? Are you being a solution seeker or are you a symptom chaser? Meaning you're chasing after every symptom with a new prescription medication, which is never going to be energizing. I hope this really makes sense. Let me know what your comments are below. I really enjoy you taking the time to review this. If you ever want to work with me, go to longdistancedoc.com or call 586-685-2222. This is Dr. Christine, the Digestion Doc, signing off for now, and I'll see you next time.